If social media isn't working for you, it's not because you aren't smart. It's because you're playing by the old rules. Here's what you need to know. Social media is no longer a feed. It's a television network. The interface looks the same, but the engine underneath it has completely transformed. You're still treating it like a status update to talk to your friends, but the algorithm is treating it like a broadcast schedule to entertain the world. I'm Ajay Kumar, author of Guru Inc., and today I'm going to show you how to stop thinking like a social media poster and start thinking like a social media showrunner. Television isn't random. Networks program strategically. They build schedules around viewer behavior. They test formats, they measure what works, they have characters, talent. In the old world of TV, you had gatekeepers. You needed a network executive to greenlight your show. You needed millions of dollars. But in the new TV, which is social media, the barrier to entry is gone. Anyone with a smartphone can post. But there's this big misunderstanding. Most people think because the barriers disappeared, the strategy disappeared too. It didn't. It's just like when you're trying to become a real estate agent. Anyone could become a real estate agent. The barrier to entry is really low, but only a few percentage of actual real estate agents are successful. Most are out of the business. For people trying to create content and build a business in social media, it's the same way. You're still competing for attention. You're still up against algorithms that decide what gets distributed. The only difference is that now you got to be the showrunner. You got to be the person responsible for the vision, the message, and the experience of your entire channel. Social media platforms are programming personalized channels to keep their viewers watching. They're the new TV networks, and now if your content doesn't serve that goal, it won't get distribution. Social media is a game. And when I say game, I don't mean it's trivial. I mean it's a competitive system with a clear objective. Every game has three core components: goals, moves, and obstacles. For example, basketball. Get the ball into the hoop. You pass, dribble, you shoot. The defense tries to stop you. In TV land, you have ratings and ad revenue, programming decisions, and you're competing with other networks in limited airtime. Social media is like this too, but most people don't think about it that way. Most people are just posting without even identifying what they're actually aiming at. They post because they feel like they should, not because they've defined what winning looks like. Is that you? When you don't know the goal, every post becomes a guess. Then you blame the algorithm like you're the victim of a global conspiracy. It's about understanding the structure so you can play the game to win. I want more followers is not a goal. That's just a vanity metric by itself. In TV, the goal is never to just get people to watch. Sitcoms want syndication deals. Dramas want subscription retention. The show is the vehicle. The goal is the business outcome. Social media is exactly the same. I have this business advisor that helped me develop what I believe to now be the real goal of social media: ROAC. Return on attention created. Here's what that means. The Weeknd performed at the Super Bowl for free, while brands were paying $7 million for a 30-second ad. Why? Because after he performed in 2021, his Spotify streams surged by over 220%. That attention turned into tour revenue, brand equity, and cultural dominance. He got a massive return on the attention that he created, not on the performance itself. So when I'm helping my clients grow on social media, sometimes the result is direct revenue, but more often than not, the first thing that you notice is a change in perception, positioning, association. These are intangibles. This is the public deciding, hey, I know this person and I trust them. That's why celebrities invest millions of dollars into PR. They know that influence compounds long before money does. Attention has two forms of value. First, like I mentioned, is the intangible value. This is brand equity, it's impact, it's trust. Think about it like this. People don't buy Dr. Andy Huberman's supplements because they're cheap. They buy them because they trust him. And that trust wasn't built overnight. It was built through years of content, repetition, and credibility. You can't see the intangible value on a spreadsheet, but it drives everything that comes after. It drives positioning, becoming the category king of your niche, and being the person people think of first. The second is tangible value. Most people are familiar with this. These are the direct returns. These are the qualified leads. This is attracting the buyer who already believes what you believe. It means deal flow and partnerships, the kind of visibility that brings investors and collaborators to you. Once you know the goal, everything tightens. Most people are familiar with these kinds of tangible goals, but a lot of people aren't thinking about it or realizing that you got to have the intangible first so that the tangible will follow. But once you do know your goal, everything begins to tighten up. Every post becomes a filter. Then you could ask yourself, does this move me closer to the business outcome that I want? In TV land, showrunners make programming decisions. What's the format? Who's the talent? What's the run of the show? Most people treat their social media channels like a digital diary. Random thoughts, lunch pictures, weather complaints. They act more like bloggers. This kind of worked when social media videos were new because of the novelty value, but it's become a lot more sophisticated now. Now, to win, you have to commit to being the showrunner. You aren't just posting content, you're broadcasting your social first show. That's why you see so many more brands right now building their own in-house studios, launching their little mini-series, because the brands are the first ones to realize before the mass audience realizes that you're essentially creating mini TV shows. So we talked about goals, now let's talk about the moves. Here are 3 moves that turn a random account into an actual media business. Move number 1, you have a formula of a topic and a format. Great shows are engineered. You need interest topics and idea formats. Interest topics are all the different topics that are in your niche. Like in fat loss, you might have weightlifting and certain types of exercises. And marketing advice, you might have copywriting or thumbnail design. Idea formats means a repeatable structure, like the skeleton of the episode. So for example, take a guy like Daniel Mack. He's the guy that asks, hey, what do you do for a living? He has the man on the street format, and he's famous for asking the what do you do for a living question. And within that are topics about cars and wealth and luxury and aspiring lifestyles. Or think about Erica Kohlberg. She's a consumer advocacy lawyer. She uses like this skit format where she's playing 2 characters that explain the fine print in contracts. I have a client named Non-Toxic Dad. He uses a grocery store audit format. He goes into grocery stores and then reveals exactly what's toxic for your family. I have another client named Nikki Haskell. She has the format of things I know in my 80s that I wish I knew in my 20s. Now let's go to move number 2, the hidden language. Going viral isn't luck. It's a science. A master content creator is a sommelier for attention. It means that they see this hidden language of virality, similarly to how a wine sommelier could describe the different tastes and experiences of wine. So you want to engineer every post with 3 things. The hook, because you have 3 seconds to buy the next 30 seconds or more. You want to use curiosity, shock, pattern interruptions. The second is the hold. You want to open a story loop. The brain hates unfinished business, so if you open up a loop, viewers watch to the end. I talk about this thing called attention and momentum. If you could get viewers to watch 10-20 seconds of your video, the chances of them sticking to the very end is highly likely because they've already committed. Then there's the payoff. That's the delivery of the promise, right? This is where they get the value of what you actually talked about. And when you deliver on the value, they're more likely to trust you. Move number 3, the programming schedule. Friends was on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. You knew it, you expected it. The algorithm works similarly. If you post randomly, you're just a chaotic signal. The algorithm rewards reliability. When you show up consistently, you trigger a biological process called long-term potentiation. This is exactly how short-term memory becomes long-term memory. First, people recognize your face, then they recognize your format, and then finally, you're the authority. The amateur is going to ask, what should I post today? The showrunner says, it's Tuesday, I'm posting that toxic swap video with the shock hook. So we talked about goals, we talked about moves. Now let's talk about the obstacles. Obstacle number 1, the algorithm. People say the algorithm hates me or I'm shadow banned. But the truth is, the algorithm is just a fancy word for the audience. The algorithm is a mirror. It reflects what the audience does. If people scroll past your content, it knows. If people binge watch it, it knows. It's asking itself, if I show this video to 100 more people, will they stay on the app? Platforms have one goal, satisfaction. Because satisfaction equals retention, and retention equals revenue. And this typically creates a conflict. You want to take the audience off the app and onto your website or your email list. The platform wants to keep people on. So the solution is aligned selfishness. Give the platform engaging content. In exchange, it gives you distribution. And over time, you get a return on the attention you're creating. Obstacle number 2, the credibility gap. Why should they listen to you? There's 1,000 people talking about your topic. On social media, people don't care about your credentials as much as you may think. You have to demonstrate authority through insight. This is how you build a parasocial relationship where people feel like they know you, even though they're not even in the room with you, or they've never even met you. They know your face, they know your voice, they know your format. That's how you build a really powerful presence. Obstacle number 3 is the time horizon. Most people quit in pilot season. They post for a few weeks, they don't see the results, and they stop. But building a successful brand on social media takes time. The algorithm needs data, it needs reps, it needs volume. So if you stop now, you're not failing, you're just impatient. The era of just posting is over. We're now in the era of personal television. And if you want to dive deeper into these strategies and how you can apply them to your own brand, watch one of these videos next.